I just realized, Christine, that we have the same haircut.
Only the best people go bold.
Yes, definitely.
Welcome, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. And before we begin, I would like to extend my apologies on behalf of the Africa Center for the technical difficulties during last week's session caused by the global Amazon Web Services disruptions. Everyone who registered for that workshop should have received a recording of that session in their inbox. And if you would like one, please reach out to policy@theafricacenter.org. For those who joined us for our previous workshops, welcome back and bear with us as we go over some details for everyone who is new here today. I'm Timi Biraba, a policy consultant and editor on the Africa Center's policy team, along with Tunde Olatunji, the associate policy director at TAC. With the sponsorship of MasterCard Foundation, our team at TAC has designed the Africa Center Studio Women's Creative Exchange, a monthly workshop series and fund taking place between July and November of 2025. In addition to the workshops, 3 participants with a business or business plan will be selected to receive an investment of $2,000 each after attending 3 out of 5 workshops and submitting a reflective prompt. For more details on what's required to receive the fund, please visit the Africa Center Studios webpage, which is linked in the chat. Everyone who attends at least 3 workshops, regardless of having a business or a plan, will receive a digital certificate for their LinkedIn pages. MasterCard Foundation gave us this fund and said they wanted to impact young Africans, allowing us to design it how we see fit. We decided we wanted to financially empower African women creatives through it. We created a format where our pre-selected workshop leaders choose one guest speaker for their workshop. We picked our workshop leaders by identifying organizations with proven expertise in supporting entrepreneurship within the creative economy for women in West Africa. Today's workshop leader is Christine Githomi. She is the managing director of Beaux Monde, a boutique strategic consultancy advancing ethical, high-impact growth across Africa's 100 billion plus cultural and creative economy. Under her leadership, Beaux Monde partners with global investors, diaspora leaders, and African creatives to co-create ventures that honor cultural heritage while delivering tangible returns. From scaling fashion enterprises in Nairobi to producing cross-continental film collaborations. With over 15 years of experience spanning government, academia, and creative industries, Christine brings unmatched insight and networks to every engagement. Her work prioritizes regulatory compliance, cultural integrity, and real-world outcomes, rejecting performative metrics in favor of meaningful, measurable community impact. For those serious about shaping Africa's creative future with purpose and precision, Christine offers a trusted, values-led approach to building what's next. When Christine suggested Gazelle as a guest speaker, we knew she would be an excellent addition to the workshop series because of her wealth of experience, just like our past 4 speakers. Co-founder and director of Louisimone Guirandou Gallery, Gazelle Guirandou lives and works in Abidjan. A graduate in applied linguistics from University of Montreal, she first chose teaching before building a 25-year career at a major international institution. In 2015, she drew on the legacy of her mother, Simone, art historian and founder of Arts Plire, one of Côte d'Ivoire's pioneering contemporary art galleries, to establish their gallery. A seasoned collector and discerning eye, she nurtures a deep connection with artwork and artists and remains attentive to emerging Ivorian, African, and international art scenes. Today, Gazelle carries the heritage forward with her own vision and dynamicism, advancing the visibility and recognition of contemporary African art. And now for a bit about TAC and our session today. The Africa Center is a think tank and cultural center based in New York City, where we focus on policy, culture, and business. We are a multidisciplinary institution focused primarily on narrative shifting surrounding the continent of Africa. So for us, we believe it's important what information gets to shape the world's understanding of a place and its people, but also who gets to communicate it. As a result, we work to center perspectives from and of the continent in conversations that pertain to them. As part of that work, we put on regular public programs such as this one today. At the end of today's session, Show, Sell, Sustain, a creative's guide to the art market, there will be time for a brief Q&A, so please pop your questions in the chat throughout the workshop and we will get to them at that time. Once again, on behalf of the Africa Center, thank you for joining us here today. And for more information and next steps for the Africa Center Studio, Women's Creative Exchange, you can check out our website, which will be linked in the chat.
Thank you so much, Temi, and welcome everybody. As she mentioned, I'm Christine Gityomi. I'm founder of Beaux Monde, and today's session, Show, Sell, Sustain, is part of a broader effort to demystify the business of the arts. We'll be exploring how galleries, artists, curators, and creative entrepreneurs can build sustainable practices in an evolving African art market. I'm delighted to be joined by Gazelle Guirandou, the founder and director of Louisimone Guirandou Gallery in Abidjan. Gazelle has spent years shaping contemporary art conversations in West Africa, mentoring artists, curating exhibitions, and representing African art internationally. Together, we'll unpack the inner workings of the art market, from curation and collecting to sustaining a creative business. Gazelle, I'd like to start with your journey. What inspired you to found Louisimone Guirandou Gallery, and how did you envision its role in Abidjan and the wider African art ecosystem?
Thank you. First, I'd like to thank Temi and you, Christine, for the warm welcome to this discussion. I'll call it a discussion between us. And so how did it all start? You know, the gallery was born from starting from a love story and art family, art and family. Sorry, I will have to tell you all that I'm a French speaker and that I'm doing this discussion in English. So excuse my English sometimes because there might be French in it, but I'll do my best. So it's a family story of transmission. My mom, Simone Guirandou, founded Art Pluriel, her first gallery, in 1991. And she was one of the first gallerists in Côte d'Ivoire and presenting contemporary art. So we grew up surrounded by artists, and I also have to remind you that my parents, both my father and my mom, used to pick up art every time they were traveling to a place. So that's the way we grew around art and artists, conversations, and art was always with us, in fact. It was always at home. And so it was part of our daily life. And I started learning and being interested I started thinking about having a gallery myself. I started collecting, and while I was working in this African Development Bank, that's why I worked for 25 years. My dream was to share the different discovery of artists that I was buying from starting from my mom's gallery, of course. So when I came back to Abidjan in 2015, my mom had this idea of building this new gallery. So I just joined her, and for me, it was like, a dream come true. I would have a gallery with my mom. The transition will be secured from my mom to me, and the journey was going to begin, together with my mom. Now, the name of the gallery, it might sound a little bit long, Louisimone Guirandou Gallery. And the reason is that the gallery is just a garden away. It's in the same residence as my parents. And they had a little note, I don't know the exact word in English, but on their house, it's written Louisimone Guirandou, which means it's their house. So the gallery being close to it, we decided to give both my late father's first name, Louis, Simone, my mom's name, and Guirandou is our family name. So that's how we started this continuation of Art Pluriel that was built in 1991.
You mentioned that you have a background in banking. So how did your professional background prepare you for the art market?
It prepared me to be very strict, rigorous, and honest with the clients. My clients are the artists. So that's what it gave me as a framework. But the most important thing is that in coping with different people from different side of the world in this organization helped me connect with a lot of people around Africa and other countries. And so I really felt that I had, something to propose, something to show, something to share also, which was the art side of myself, in fact. I can't hear you.
Apologies.
It's fine.
What gaps or opportunities did you see when launching your gallery?
In Abidjan and across West Africa, the art scene was vibrant, but still understructured. So we needed to, there was a, we had, and we still have a lot of artists, but we needed to, build platforms or to be part of existing and developing platforms so that we could show their work very professionally. And that's what also my background helped me do, is professionalize our different artists so that we can show them, of course, in Africa, but also everywhere else. So it's the structuring. The most important thing is the structuring of our artists, who very often don't quite understand the role of a gallery, and we're here to help.
Okay. So in that you mentioned the artist, how do you identify and nurture artists for representation?
This is a very interesting question. I go around. I discover artists sometimes in different fairs. I think you've heard about the Biennale de Dakar. So these
Yes.
are types of
Yes.
biennale where you go to visit, of course, the art scene, but also to get in contact with some of the artists whose works are showcased. And what I usually do, we are a little team at the gallery. My mom is still, she's a big girl now, as I say. She's turning 95 on the 10th of
Oh,
December.
wow.
Yeah, but
Wonderful.
what is interesting, she still, she still gives us her advice,
Yes.
and we're small team of three women. It's
Yeah.
it has always been a team of women, and what we do is that I go towards, I travel and I see what's represented outside. When it's African artists, I go talk to them and you know, try to see if they want to work with an African gallery also, because let's say, well, let's all know that we are in Africa, which might be a plus,
Can you hear me?
sometimes a minus, because
Mm-hmm.
our
Yes, okay.
different artists like to, unfortunately, they go towards foreigners, foreign galleries, especially in Europe or in the States, without knowing
Mm-hmm.
that we also could do the work that the others are doing. So I go for them.
Yeah.
I go, I visit their studio, I talk to them first. When they are
Yes.
interested in doing a project with me, then I go to visit. Wherever they are, I go to visit their studio. I talk to them because you also have to feel confidence between, you know, both the artist
Yeah.
and the gallery. It's a link that you create together, because I'm not, my goal is not only to see an artist and then just show his work. We want um to go away together, you know,
Yes.
beginning, middle, yeah. We want to do a journey. We go through a
Mm-hmm.
journey with our artists. So there's a story, there's a connection, then we start, and then we always follow the artist. So that's the way I deal with the artists that I discover. And sometimes also you have artists writing to you, wanting to
Yeah.
show their works at the gallery. This is another subject.
Okay. You've mentioned a little bit of the next question in what you've just said, but what principles guide your curatorial practice and artist partnerships? What are those
It's
principles that make you
continuity,
uniquely yourself?
continuity, which I just
Yes.
talked about.
Yeah.
It's respect. You have to respect
Mm.
the artist and his work, and also excellence.
Yeah. Yes.
Because continuity, because our work builds on legacy that stands and started decades ago. So we have this
Yeah.
legacy to keep on. Respect for the artist is we respect their vision, their art, their story, and their time. Because you cannot impose an artwork to an artist, and you cannot impose time to the artist. And then excellence, because African art deserves to be respected outside.
Yes.
It's not
Yeah.
something exotic. We need to have the same standards as the standards that are, you know, the European, American. We need to have the same standards. So it's very important for us and for the artist to understand that when he works with us, he has, I mean,
Yes.
the artwork has to be excellent. Otherwise, we don't take it.
Okay. Okay.
Voilà.
And in your journey, what were because this is something that you took over from your mother, and this is such a huge part of your family legacy, but you came from a different background. You were doing something else for 20 years. What were the challenges that you found in that transition? Maybe some of the things that made it difficult. Yeah.
It wasn't a challenge to you know, to go into a gallery, because like I told you, this has always been with me, you know, art and
Yes.
learning from my mom. You know, when we were younger, teenagers, I remember when we used to travel with my parents, my mom would always say, before you start going, playing, or seeing your friends or whatever, we go to a museum.
Yeah.
When we're in a country, we go to a museum, we go to a gallery, and then you're free to go. So for me, it's not that I did something totally different. I was doing something different, but I was always linked to my mom's work and gallery. I was even helping her sometimes with the invitations. I was giving ideas. So, you know, in a way, I was still connected. Now that I come into this world, I mean, totally and plainly, of course, you could face different challenges. Challenges, the first challenge I had was to come after my mom because people were thinking, okay, Simone is not alone anymore, and what
Yes.
does Gazelle will be able to do. So it was a challenge first coming when
Yes.
I was looking, I looked like an outsider, which I
Mm.
wasn't, but people didn't know
Mm.
because, you know, they
Yes.
weren't seeing me before. So
Mm-hmm.
I did, I um, I benefited from my mom's reputation, and we
Yes.
started together this new gallery. So I learned, you know, different things that I didn't know. I took all the, what would you say, the lessons, and then decided, okay, that's the way we can go through. And it's been working for 10 years, and I hope it's going to be working more. And so I could also do a transition with a
Yes.
younger, you know, person in
Yeah.
my family, because art is in the family, so this won't be difficult.
So, how do you define success? Uh,
Mm.
Visibility, financial independence, or creative freedom? And I guess this is in your own professional practice, but also for the gallery.
Well, it's not, I wouldn't say success, I would say longevity. Because success, you can sometimes have exhibitions which are very successful, but then it's a coup, you know, you just do it once, and then what else do you propose? Now,
Mm-hmm.
longevity, excellence in the longevity, this is the most important thing. You can
Yes.
so success is for me is no once the most important thing for me is for my artists to be successful on the long term, and that's when
Okay.
I have a role as a gallerist, and the team, what we do is we do the branding, the communication, we how do you say, we talk to our collectors. There's a way for us. You also need writings,
Yes.
research, and all those come together to present an artist. It's not just an exhibition, it's the writing and the story of the artist that you are presenting. So it comes from somewhere. The storytelling is very important, very important.
Yes.
And people
Yes.
trust you. When they trust you, they will trust the artist that you are showing, because we don't show everyone. We need to
Mm.
be very selective.
Mm. So, for participants outside of West Africa who might be listening to this webinar, what parallels do you see in your regional art scenes? So, what makes the art scene different in Abidjan than maybe other parts of Africa from your experience?
Okay, in Abidjan, we have what is interesting is that there's been a lot of galleries opening here now since
Mm.
2012, I think. They started
Mm-hmm.
opening I would say modern, because it's a new generation of galleries. And
Yes.
the art scene here is very interesting. Okay, it's the French. Let's make a difference, because I think that the Anglophones and the
Yes.
Francophones are totally different in their approach with
Yeah.
art, which is a little bit a pity, because we, of course, we do have a language problem with our artists, but there is not that much difference because from you have Abidjan, you have Dakar, you have Benin. So see, all those African, West African countries are very dynamic now with galleries and
Yes.
Biennale, the Biennale de Dakar. Benin has now built a lot of museums for the restitution of the art primary. I don't know the word in English, mais l'art premier, African art, you would say.
Yes.
I don't know if you get what I'm saying.
I do. I get the gist of what you're saying.
Primitive art. Well,
Yes. Local or there's another.
yes, local and not local, but it's a lot of woods
Yes.
and all those. So there is a dynamic, and what I think because we also have we don't only have French speaking artists, huh? We do also have
No.
English speak Anglophone artists,
Yes.
and
Yes.
I think it's for us Africans, wherever we are from, whatever side in Africa, north, south, west, east, or whatever, we are the ones who have to get together to be to build a strong to be strong representatives of our artists. The problem I see most of the time, when we have Anglophones, English-speaking Africans, they don't speak French, and vice versa.
Yes.
So
Yes.
it's quite a challenge sometimes because
Yes.
they want to do
Yes.
residencies, for example.
Okay.
If they go to countries where they don't speak the language, then we have
Okay.
a problem. That's the kind of challenges that we could face. Otherwise, I think we are, Abidjan is a place where a lot is happening on the culture side.
So that's such a strong and powerful story about how what you've built came about. So let's now turn to what it actually takes to sustain a gallery and make a business, the business side of artwork. Many artists and creatives are passionate about their work, but often unsure how the market actually functions, how art becomes livelihood. So Gazelle, could you walk us through how a gallery operates as a business?
Okay, first, let me say that unfortunately, a lot of artists are not living out of their work. They need to have another job. Most of them are teachers, or they really need something to for the everyday life. Unfortunately, because for the artist, he will need to have primary incomes like cash flow, and this is something that he doesn't have regularly, but he still has to be commissioned. He needs to go for residence, and it's for the gallery's role is to promote those artists and to structure it. So an artist comes, the team decides whether this is good enough to show it to the collectors that we have. So we're in connection with the artist, we are doing the storytelling, but the quality of the work is something that is very important. The artist, and you have artists who do art every day and sell it to everyone. This is a choice. This is a choice. When you go into a gallery, it's structured. You give your artwork to the gallery. We sign contracts. We always sign contracts. Never, ever for an artist just to think that, no, he's a friend or blah, 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 and I give him my work and he's going to try. Never. And I've been telling that to a lot of artists who work by trust, and I tell them it's not enough. In case there's an accident, in case, you never know what can happen. So we always go by contracts signed and approved by both parties. You make an inventory of what you give to the gallery, and from there the exhibition is planned. We plan our exhibitions like a year ahead. Like we finish the planification. Okay, we're end of 2025, so it's over. We have finished 2026 planning.
Oh.
And now we are stepping into 2027.
Oh, wow.
Yes, yes. Why? Because you have to give the artist time for a project.
Yes.
So he knows he has a project. So now if somebody comes to me and says, I'd like to exhibit at your gallery, of course the work is good and everything. I don't have any space for 2026. It will be in 2027 only that I could start programming. We have in our organization, we have 2 months in summer, July, August, where we show young artists. It doesn't mean that they are young. They are young in the profession. This is a place where we could sometimes try artists to show their work and to see how our followers, our collectors react to it. When the reaction is good, then you can sign. You have two types of contracts. Contracts of exhibition and contracts of representation. So for this time, yes, you do exhibition, and then if it works well, you can envisage a representation later on. But the most important thing also for the artist is to know that he cannot go to every gallery and sell. He might as well stay at home and sell directly. This is something sometimes the artist doesn't understand.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I quickly wanted to know, what are the key revenue streams for galleries and artists?
The key revenues for galleries and artists?
In
I don't understand.
In that framework that you've described, how does the
gallery? I get you. The gallery has it's split into 50-50. The artist has 50 on the sales, the gallery has 50 on the sales. That's the way. That's the way. Sometimes
standard practice.
Yes, standard practice. Sometimes it could be 60-40 if we go to fairs, because the gallery is the one paying everything for the fair.
Yes.
But usually it's 50-50. That's international. It's
Okay. How do galleries balance commercial success with artistic integrity?
Artistic integrity, what do you mean?
I mean that sometimes maybe a gallery has, and I think we've talked about it in the first segment in terms of the principles with which your particular gallery are formed, but maybe an artist that might come through the door has more of a commercial success, but is not necessarily in line with the principles of the gallery. Now, sometimes there could be some friction between, do we still represent this particular artist who maybe doesn't fall in line with our values, or because it is, financially good for the gallery, or do we stick with the principles of the gallery and kind of say that maybe you might be a great fit for a lot of different galleries, but not for this one. So how as a business do you reconcile with that?
we could let someone go if it's
Mm,
just
yeah.
commercial. If we can have
Yes.
both, then it's fine.
Yes.
But we wouldn't go with
Yes.
an artist just because it's commercial. Because, like I told you, you need to build something for the artist, and
Yes.
if it's commercial, it might be good for another type of galleries, but with us, we don't,
Yes.
unfortunately, we cannot work like that, just the commercial side.
Yes.
So the
Yeah.
artist has
Yeah.
to be ready to be patient also, because
Yeah.
it's a whole
Yeah.
system that we put in place. He has to trust
Yeah.
us, he or she,
Yeah.
the artist has
Yeah.
to trust the process. The process might be long if he wants sustainability. Now, if it's just commercial, he doesn't need us.
Mm.
He doesn't need us.
Mm.
Sometimes
Mm.
you would have an artist that is very, and you have to be careful with only commercial, because commercial doesn't mean sustainability. Commercial is commercial.
Yes.
Once you're done, you're done.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it will be more decoration than
Yes.
art sometimes, you know. We don't go
Yeah.
with that. Our gallery
Yeah.
doesn't, but I mean, everybody's any gallery is free to do it.
Yes.
Hmm.
So how do collectors shape and sustain the art ecosystem? You mentioned that your clients are the artists, but collectors are a part of your
Both,
ecosystem. So
both.
how, yes, so how do they shape, do their interests and what it is that they're looking for? How does that shape the ecosystem in any way? Do the artists feel that collectors are heading in this particular direction, and that kind of shapes the nature of the ecosystem? Do they are they good for the ecosystem? Is it important for a gallerist to, how important is the needs of the collector to the in the gallery's thinking?
It's the okay, the artist is our clients, but I should have said clients, but at the same time family, because we create a team with the artist, d'accord? But without an
Yes.
artist, you don't have a gallery,
Yes.
d'accord?
Yes.
So
Yes.
we are
Yes.
linked. Now, for
Yes.
the collectors, that is our job. That is the job of
Yes.
the gallery. Based on your reputation, your seriousness, and people will be curious. First, you have to create a curiosity.
Yes.
The storytelling has to be interesting for them to come and
Yes.
see and say, oh, this gallery is doing that show. It might be
Yeah.
interesting if they are showing that artist. It's for us to do the whole work. The artist just does his work. It's for us
Yes.
to
Yes.
promote it to the people. So that's why if we don't feel that we can do it,
Yes.
because we don't have the means. When I say means, I'm saying we don't have the whole story that we could promote to people who don't know an artist. D'accord? There has to be.
Yeah.
There's also research that we're doing. Where did the artist, in what shows did he participate? Where did he participate? Which are the galleries that he has been through, and so on. But be careful. A gallery doesn't own. A gallery is not rich. A gallery
Yes.
is not. You don't get money like that, because everything you get is split into two.
Yes.
D'accord? Yes,
Mm.
everything we get from an artist is split into 50-50.
And how do international markets affect pricing and value perception for African artists?
I know the pricing. We our job also is to how would you say, to we have to talk with the artist depending on what he has done, which shows he's been in, or which collections he's in, the price will
Yes.
be, we will propose a price to him,
Yes.
which will, because sometimes you have artists that come and they want a certain price of their work.
Yes.
What is it
Yes.
based on? What is it based on? Just because you think you're a great artist, your work is great, but where have you
Yes.
shown before? Who bought your art?
Yes.
That's part of the pricing. You don't just make a price
Yes.
because there's the age, there's the experience, there's the quality of the work, there's different things that, so we advise on a certain price depending on
Yes.
what we have our structure and we know exactly what to propose and how to propose it. It's not because you spent a lot of time on a work that it has to be
Yes.
expensive. And you can start low, I mean, not that low, but you can start at a
Yes.
certain price so that new collectors, because we have new collectors also coming in, who could be
Yes.
interested by your work, and the collectors will also follow you, follow your expansion of work, they will follow you. A collector rarely
Yeah.
just buys one work from an artist.
Mm.
But it does start with a collector. Depending on the kind of collector you have, then you can build. Once you're in this collection, or you showed it that place, or you got that price, then you can do the pricing of the work of the artist, which could be difficult with emergent artists.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but they
You
have to
mentioned
understand.
sorry, not to interrupt, but you mentioned before when we were talking about the different artists, Anglophone, Francophone, and this is it will jump off of what you've just mentioned about where you've shown before, and that's probably international fairs and residencies and institutions. So what do all these three things, international fairs, residencies, and institutions, how what part do they play in growing visibility and sales for an artist? You mentioned that yes, your work can command a certain price based on your prior history and where you've been before, but in particular, I think for residencies, how does that affect the price of an artist's work?
It does also depend on the residency you did.
Yeah.
Where you did the residency, the name of the residency, because usually when an artist does a residency, he leaves an artwork there. They always ask for a certain amount of art piece to be left. It does play on the name of the residency does play on the visibility of the artist, because people will see, oh, okay, he did that residency, so he's worth discovering, and then you can work on that. I mean, it's for us
because
to
most
Go
sorry,
ahead.
so these residencies can, because you have to apply to attend and
Yeah.
they have to allow you into these residencies. So they play a kind of vetting role for artists. So if depending on the type of residency, if it has a really big name, it's very credible, probably. And what makes that residency credible is potentially previous artists that have gone
Yes,
through
of
that
course.
residency.
Of course.
Yeah. So if that artist has been to that residency, then even for the buyer, it kind of de-risks the value of the artist's work.
Yes,
Kind of what you're
yes. The
saying.
artist is worth, following,
yes.
worth buying,
Yes.
worth,
Yes.
and
Yes.
and what we do, our role also for what we do also when we have artists, we look for residencies for them. We help them apply to certain residencies because we receive the invitation to residencies because they know us and they know we have
Yes.
artists that could go to their residency. So they work also. It's good also to work with the residencies like to work with galleries. Sometimes they would discover the artists in our gallery, which this has happened
Yes.
for two artists of ours. They came in the gallery. They are French. They have a very renowned residency, but they discovered the artist in our show. They bought the artwork and then they offered a residency to the artist. So you see, it goes both ways. Because
Yes. Yes.
don't forget that people who create residencies, they travel also. They go looking
Yes.
for artists also. And the protection of the
Yes.
artist most of the time is to have a gallery behind. So they know
Yes.
that they're
Yes.
not dealing directly because
Yes. Yes.
something that we Africans also have is that
Yeah.
sometimes you would have an emerging artist who will tell you, "Oh, I've been invited to go to that residency, which is in Europe or in the States." So for them,
Mm-hmm.
it's already something very good. But then we have to look into the
Yes.
residency and then make recommendations to the artist saying, "Okay, this is good. We will help you go to it, or please don't go to this one. Be careful."
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So
So
it's all
so
about
yeah, to manage that for them
yes,
and the artists
yes.
that you represent.
You
So
know, a gallery at the same time is an agent. We advise also
yes.
the
Yes. Yeah.
the artists,
The
so
artist.
protect them. We our role is
Yeah.
also to protect them, and don't
Yeah.
this is something very important. So that's why the trust
Yeah.
has to be real
Yes. Yes. So
and
going
patient.
back to that question about the international markets, collectors, how can emerging creators now make their work more market ready without losing authenticity? Because for example,
You have to stay
it
authentic. You have to
yeah,
stay
but
authentic.
so looking at it just as a an anecdote, especially here from Kenya, we have had a couple of very important artists who, quite frankly, their work is not necessary. I haven't their work is so expensive and so well renowned. There are not a lot of Africans who can afford their art. But a lot of the really good ones, it's as though they leave the continent the minute that they are discovered, and they join the marketplace that purchases a lot of their art.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I find it very difficult. How can they maintain that connection to the continent that probably gave them such a wonderful career? If for them to be successful, they have to leave the continent. How do you find that friction with it?
Well, I mean, it's a situation, that's for sure.
Yes.
We also need to have, being a gallerist is something also. It's a tough job because you
Mm-hmm.
have to offer your being on the continent,
Yes.
you really have to offer uh, a good structure and a good comment on dit, backup to the artist.
Yes.
But if he's already chez Templon at Templon at certain galleries, I mean, there's
Yes.
nothing I can do about it. He's already there. But sometimes what is
Yes.
interesting is that they want to be shown in Africa, and then they come back to African galleries saying, I don't have an African gallery. And you're like, how come?
Mm-hmm.
What
Yeah.
happened? You know?
Yes. Mm.
But it's very difficult for African galleries to to advise an artist who wants to go to Europe or to the States to work. There's nothing I can do except say, you should be showing also in your country. And please don't be sure some Africans have the means to buy their work.
Yes.
But we also have a
Yes.
problem because some
Mm.
Africans won't buy the work from African galleries. They will buy it from your
Mm.
international galleries.
Mm.
And when we show the same work, they won't necessarily buy it. That's a problem also we have. It's
Yeah.
once it's gone outside and it comes back,
Yeah.
that our
Yes.
brothers and sisters, the Africans, would say,
Mm.
ah,
Yeah.
it's interesting. Why didn't
Ah.
you, where were you at the beginning? Where were
Yes.
you at the beginning? But also to the artist. Maybe
Pardon
he
me.
didn't find the structure he needed
Yes.
in Africa. Maybe he
Yes.
didn't search.
Yes.
But he had proposals from outside and he went because a lot of us want also to be outside without knowing what we're expecting from there. So this is
Yeah.
something else, but we also need to have serious galleries because sometimes people would pretend that they are galleries, which they are not.
Yeah. Yeah.
So structuring the artist should also prospect and show their work,
Yes.
send portfolios. And if you're a serious gallery, you can say, okay, this is interesting, this is what I can do with you, or this is what I can do. You also have to be, to tell the truth. I'm talking too much? I'm too long?
No, you're not. No, you're not, and it's not too long. Trust me,
Okay.
you're doing
Okay.
fine. I just a quick question because you've said this that there is a need for structure. What are
Please.
some of those overlooked costs in running a gallery, and how can creatives prepare for them? Because I think that is also when you mention structure that maybe they could sell the art on their own, or they could find
Yes,
somebody who
which they
is not
do.
as structured.
Which,
Yes.
yeah, which
But
they
but
do.
but what are
Yes.
these what are some of these costs that a gallery has to incur so that they can have put these structures in place to be able to best help an artist make the most of their careers?
For an artist to make the most of his career, he has to decide if he wants to go into a structure or if he wants to stay informal. These
Mm.
are very clear because you cannot. The gallery would go on platforms for you, do communications for you, do branding of your work. There's this whole thing that we are doing in order for you to be accepted as an artist who can comment dirais-je, who can grow. The thing
Yes.
is that if you sell art only on the informal side, you can do it and you
Yes.
can earn a lot of money. But
Yes.
comment on dit, la cote d'un artiste, I don't know if somebody speaks French, but you will not progress. You will
Yes.
stay. Quotation of an artist? Do you say quotation? No?
The price that an artist sets for their work, or the rates
Not the
that they
price.
have.
No.
Mm.
He's growing.
But his value, or
His
his worth.
value. Voila.
His
His
value.
value.
Okay.
Because the value of an artist always goes up. Normally it goes up.
Yes.
When it's with a
Yes.
gallery because they're doing their work or a museum and
Yes.
so on. But when you do it directly, informally, you could sell a lot, but your value will not
Ah,
change. Your value will
okay.
not change if there is not
Okay.
a structure behind you doing the work.
Yes.
Once you're in a
Okay.
gallery also, please don't sell at the same time. Like you would be selling because you need money, you will be
Yes.
selling half price. You are killing your
Yes.
value. You are killing your
Yeah.
value. Artists should
Okay.
say, when people come to them to buy their artwork, if they are in a gallery, they should say, go to my gallery. You could buy the artwork there. Artists will be respected for that. They will say, so he's an artist that has value. He's in a gallery and we cannot buy directly to the artist.
Okay.
Or if you are in a gallery and people come to buy informally to you, do the same price the gallery is doing. Don't diminish yourself. As soon as you do diminish yourself or sell less than what you're selling in the gallery, collectors will talk to collectors and they will say, oh, you could buy him for less, or you could buy him. People talk. They talk. You see? And your value doesn't grow. Your value doesn't grow.
So you're undermining your own career
Undermining.
by
That's
trying
what
to
I'm
play
saying. You're
play oneself.
undermining.
Yeah.
You are undermining yourself.
Okay.
And that's your choice.
Yeah.
You
So
see?
Understood. For those listening, our participants in the audience, consider, where do you fit in this ecosystem? Are you creating, amplifying, or connecting others' work? And I know I've seen in the chat there's quite a few questions which we'll address after the presentations and the conversations. So please stick around, bear with us. We will answer those questions. So let's move into the reality of and the lessons learned from the field. Gazelle, if you would be so kind. You've worked with artists, collectors, and cultural institutions across continents. What are some of the biggest misconceptions about the art world, especially for emerging creatives and women in the field?
What I've noticed for emerging artists, what I've noticed is during COVID, confirmed artists could sell on a platform. Emerging artists couldn't, because people wanted because they're not known. Even if we sell them on platforms, people need to have seen their work somewhere, to have seen an exhibition somewhere, even if they didn't go. They need to, you know, an artwork, you need to smell it, to touch it, to feel it. Once you know the artist and you've been in contact with his artwork, when I say in contact, that's why I'm moving my hands, then you know what his art is about, and then trust it. You could buy it on a platform like Artlogique or Artsy, you know. So that was the main that is the main problem that I saw at that time. And there were some emerging artists we had. We had to do after COVID, bien sûr, of course. We had to do an exhibition for people to realize the work they were doing and appreciate it. So it has to go through, you know, it really has to go through exhibition. When we go to art fairs also, as an African country, as an African gallery on the continent, when we go to those international art fairs like 154, we did Marrakech, we did London, we did New York, we did in Investec aussi, Cape Town, we did Accra. People are surprised to see an African. We tried Artex aussi, huh? We tried Artex in Lagos. People are very often surprised of that an African-based gallery goes outside to present different artists, because transportation from Africa to those places cost a fortune. So you need to choose the type of shows you're going abroad. And we also need, you know, you need sponsors and stuff like that who believe in the work of the gallery, promoting artists that would accompany
Yes.
you to go to those different fairs. And what I've noticed also is that, but this was a few years ago, and we had an artist that wasn't he wasn't cheap, but then
Yes.
there was this very interesting remark. Oh, it's expensive. Like it was African, so it shouldn't be
Yeah.
that expensive. And it's presented by an African gallery also. If it was
Gallery.
I mean international, non-African gallery, then
Yes. Yes.
you know it could they
Yes.
could
It would be okay.
adjust the price. But for
Yes.
this is these are remarks that I've noticed. As a woman, a lot of women are gallerists now. Huh? They are men, but
Yes.
there's also a lot of women. I think we have more sensitivity, or I don't believe.
Actually, that's a good segue there, because what systemic barriers do women face in accessing visibility or capital in the art field? Is it easier for them to get into the art field?
No, I didn't feel
Mm.
it was difficult. I didn't feel it was
Mm-hmm.
difficult for a woman or
Mm-hmm.
a man.
Mm.
The
Yeah.
visibility that we have is that Africans being outside, African galleries, you know, playing on the same ground as international galleries. That's the most
Yes.
difficult part, because most of
Yeah.
there's a lot of European galleries that sell African artists that represent African
Yes.
artists. So the
Yes.
challenge is being African and you know, being trying to be at the level of those galleries and showing that we African galleries also have good works and good
Mm-hmm.
artists to show. It's more that than being a man or a woman. I think it's coming from the
Mm-hmm.
continent with quality African artists. I think that's the
Yeah.
challenge.
Yes. So I have a question in terms of mentorship. You were blessed enough to have your mom with you, and you still do.
Yeah.
How important is mentorship especially for women in the art field?
There's not, I don't know if in Kenya you
Mm.
have a lot of women, but here in
No.
Abidjan, we don't have a lot of women in art, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Unfortunately, and I think it's our traditions. We are not, I might say, we are not, how would I say? It wasn't in our way of thinking, you know, African woman being
Yes.
in art. My mom was very blessed.
Yes.
I was telling her she was
Yes.
very blessed to have
Yes.
a gallery. My
Mm-hmm.
with because of my thanks to not because of thanks to my father. So I often
Yes.
tell her that, you know, she was very lucky, but
Mm-hmm.
um, it depends what the woman wants in art. Does she want to do decoration? Does she
Yeah.
want to build a career in art,
Mm.
knowing
Mm.
that we don't live from that? And she
Yeah.
could have. I meet young women now who are they were not in art before. They are not especially in art. They have another job,
Yes.
but they are very
Yes.
interested in art, and they do art studies. They go for
Yes.
art studies, and
Mm.
but they really they have to be convinced that they have a message to send through
Yeah.
their art in order
Yeah.
to take le bâton du pèlerin
Mm.
and then say, that's what I want to do, and that's where I'll be going. And then we come in. Then we can
Mm-hmm.
come in. Otherwise,
Okay.
men are more, comment on dit? They go more easy for that. And don't forget also
Yes.
that there was a time when a man was wanted to be an artist. People would say, "Oh, okay, you
Yeah.
cannot study whatever. You're being an artist." You know how we talk about
Yes.
artists.
Yes.
it
Yes,
wasn't good
yes.
for a woman to be called like that. But
Ah,
the woman has to believe in what she wants to do, the message she has to send, and if she can study art also and really go for it, that's where we can intervene. There's a lot
yeah,
of
yeah.
there's more women in photography now than in visual arts. There's more women in photography. I
Yeah.
don't know if you've noticed on your side of Africa, but women are going
Yes,
for
there
photography.
is. Yes, and there also female photographers are a bit more organized in terms of
Yes,
uplifting other photographers. For some reason,
yes, like
there's
yes.
even a database of female photographers in East Africa. So yes, they
Oh,
seem to
bravo.
be helping each other with visibility. And I think our most famous photographer was the Biden photographer. She's from Kenya as well. So they seem to be doing a lot easier in terms of I think maybe it's more accessible to regular people than maybe visual arts, but for some reason photographers seem to be
But also
mhm.
for some reasons,
Mm.
the African public is not very responsive to photography. They want visual
Yes,
arts most of the time, so there's a
yes,
lot of work
yeah,
to do on that side. And I don't know if you
yes.
know Aida Molune. She's a very famous Ethiopian artist. Aida
Huh,
Molune.
no.
She's doing
Yeah,
an Africa Photo Fair. She started in Addis
yes,
Abeba, but now she's
yes.
doing it in Abidjan. It's going to be
Wonderful.
the fourth edition where she gets
Yes.
photographers from all around, mostly Africans, but from all around the world. And sometimes you have
Mm-hmm.
journalism photography. It starts with
Yes,
journalism photography, and then from that you have very great photos.
yes, yes.
But this is something
So
that you have also to you have to educate Africans to and
mm,
you also need to have photos of very good quality
yeah,
uh,
yeah, yes,
to attract Africans to photography.
yeah, yeah, it's true.
Mhm,
So I have one
mhm.
more question before we get into Q&A.
Uh-huh.
What advice would you give to emerging creatives or aspiring gallerists looking to enter the market today?
They have to know what they want, huh? They have to know
Mm-hmm.
what they want. They have to be authentic with their art. It comes what you are painting or representing or drawing has to come from you. You have to be
Yes.
authentic. You cannot copy. It's like a
Mm,
book. If you're writing a book, it has to be something real. So be
yeah.
authentic. That's the first that's the first point. To
Mm,
open a gallery, it depends what kind of gallery you to be. You want to be a
mm,
local gallery, you open your space, you can be a local gallery if you already have people who you already have people you know who will be buying your art, and
yeah.
that's how my mom started in the 90s. There was no fairs at that time.
Yeah.
So she had her gallery. She was there was what, maybe two other galleries. She's a pioneer. So people were coming
Yeah.
to see art and buy art there. So it depends what you
Yes.
want. You want to be local, you want to go international. If you want to get international, you also need to have a good team. You cannot do it
Yes.
by yourself. For galleries,
Yeah.
you can't do it by yourself. It's
Wonderful.
it's a whole process. Everybody has his work to do in a gallery. You cannot do it
Yeah.
all by yourself, or
Yeah.
you just open a
Yeah.
little shop and you show stuff. This you can do by yourself. But
Yeah.
coping with
It's a team
artists,
sport.
oh,
Mm-hmm.
definitely,
Yeah.
definitely, that
Yeah.
is a
Yeah.
major point. A
Yes. Yes.
teamwork, team
Yeah.
spirit. You know, sometimes
Yeah.
because everybody needs to make suggestions. I could make a suggestion
Yeah.
about an artist that I really like, and Berenice and Nicole would say, "Oh no, Gazelle, not this one." And I'm like, "Yes, yes." So we discuss, we vote sometimes. They
Yes.
laugh at me
Yes.
sometimes, or they would suggest artists that I haven't seen. I get in contact,
Yes.
and then I want to go and visit his studio. So you see, it's a team. It's a teamwork. And it
Yeah.
really has to, yeah,
Yeah.
this is a main point also for a gallery.
Yeah.
For
Thank you.
it to
Thank you
work.
so much. Thank you so much,
Thank
Gazelle.
you.
Right now, I
Thank
think
you for having
it
me.
would be good to bring the audience into the conversation. So I'll take the first one from Lagane, who's asking, he
From
writes,
where?
that he or she
Again, is from
writes,
where?
I can't
Which
tell.
country, I
I'm not
mean?
good
Yeah,
with
that would
flags.
be.
I'm not good with the flags. But
D'accord.
and maybe somebody from the team can tell me in the chat. But he writes, or she writes, thank you for this opportunity. Since you mentioned remaining integral to your artistry and mission in curating galleries, can you speak to the opposite side of that? For example, how can a smaller brand pitch themselves to a more established collector, investor, etc., when they see the potential in such a collaboration, but does not have the experience to adequately convince? Did you have experience like this in your earlier work? That's the question. So basically, how do smaller galleries get their foot in the door? How do they pitch themselves to
It
investors?
depends on the choice of artists that they select.
Hmm.
It's a choice that you make. If you start with you can start with emerging artist or even a well-renowned artist, but you also need to do the PR. There's a PR part also to do.
Yes. Yes.
When you have a gallery, you have to go around. You cannot sit in your gallery and expect people to come and see you. You need
Yeah.
to travel. You need to go and see
Yeah.
abroad what is happening. When I say abroad, it's not Europe. It could be also in Africa.
Yes.
But go and see
Yes.
what is happening around for you to
Yes.
get a better idea of how you could and get contact with people also. Meeting people in
Yes.
shows, in fairs is very, very important. And the choice
Yeah.
of the artist
Yeah.
you want
I
to show.
hope that helps Lagane. And Lagane is from Senegal. Temi help me out
Ah,
there.
d'accord,
He's from Senegal.
d'accord.
And
Is he an
so
artist?
the next,
Pardon.
well, he doesn't say. It doesn't say.
D'accord.
So,
I'll be in Dakar
Oluwakemi.
soon, so I can, if he's an artist, I could visit.
Okay. Okay. Wonderful. So, Oluwakemi is asking, how do you feel about art jewelry? I found I don't see much of that with African galleries.
True, true.
Yeah.
We don't
Yeah.
exhibit jewelries, but this is something that you could, depending on the type of jewelries, and she or he will have to submit it to a gallery, and it would be a show. I forgot to tell you that a show's length is 6 weeks. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
But for that type of art, it could be something done on a weekend, but you wouldn't do an exhibition of jewelries for
Yeah.
a month and a half. So it depends
Yes.
of how she wants to show it, and where it will be something on a short period of time, I think, but I don't know the jewelries. But we don't usually, for security reasons, you cannot keep jewelries in a place for a month and a half to show it. It's not
Yeah.
reasonable.
Yeah.
Voilà.
Okay. Yeah. So, thank you. I think those are all the questions right now in the chat. Keep them coming. I can always go back to them. But for
Uh-huh.
right now, I wanted to speak a little bit to Beaux Monde has prepared a visual arts starter kit, a practical resource designed to help creatives and cultural entrepreneurs build structure around their work. The toolkit includes a creative economy model map, a pricing foundations guide, an artist bio and brand template, a platform
Right.
discovery grid, and a visibility tracker. So it will get the participants or anyone who watches this and would like to get a kind of package with which they can get started in terms of thinking through what their business is going to look like, addressing the issues of pricing and figuring out how to price things, and then how to
Oh,
present yourself, how to write your bio, how to build your brand. And then, of course, finding out what kinds of platforms are best to showcase your expertise or your organization, and where would you be best placed to stand out, and being able to track that level of visibility. So that toolkit, the link Temi has so well nicely put into the chat. You'll just be able to fill a short form and you can be able to download that tracker and use it in your new gallerist career. And hopefully you can be able to listen to this audio and this presentation, which will be made available to you at the close of this session, and you can be able to think through what your business could potentially look like in the future. So thank you, everyone. Thank you so much, Gazelle. I'm wondering
thank
if
you.
I could give you an opportunity to just give us a parting shot or one last word of inspiration for any upcoming gallerists in the audience for their future. What would you say to inspire them to take this on and to begin a career in being a gallery owner?
I mean, trust in yourself first.
Mm,
You have to believe in it. It's not something
mhm,
that I did, overnight. It took me years to realize that's what I wanted to do. And then ask for all the tools. Don't be afraid to get in touch with galleries that you know and to see how it works inside. Maybe galleries won't tell you everything, but you need to know that first you cannot go alone on that. You have to find the place, you have to find the name, the logo, the is it a temporary or you want it to be a sustainable one? You could also have a place. You could have a studio or a place where you can show your artwork before going maybe into a gallery. But you have to trust in your dreams, huh? Trust in your
mhm.
dreams and go for it. That's what I did.
I have one last question. I think we have some time, so I don't want to uh, the folks can lose an opportunity to ask you some questions. So this is from Khadija, who asks, how do you select or decide which artist to work with? What do you look for behind the quality of the work itself? And when you're engaging with collectors, how do you talk about the work? What is most effective in translating the artist's story or value beyond the sale?
There's no answer to that. I talked about
Mm-hmm.
it already. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
my discussion with collectors or the show that I will present will be depending of the artist. You always it's not the same. You don't say the same thing for collectors to be interested. Depends on the
Mm-hmm.
artist that you are presenting. But like I said, it could be I could be interested by the work of an artist and go and see exactly what he's doing. And there's a message. There's always a message in the artwork of an artist. He's not just painting and drawing. There's a message. Which one is it? And can it touch people?
Mm-hmm. Mhm.
So that's why I was saying
hope-
authenticity in what you're doing. It has to talk to people for people to be interested, for me to be interested
Yes.
and coming closer to see more and better.
I hope that is helpful, Khadija. So if there are no other questions, we will bring this wonderful conversation to a close. Thank you so much, Gazelle, for your
Thanks to
time
you.
and your insights, your experience, and I guess even to your mom for setting that trend and stepping out and doing
Yeah.
something that nobody else has done. So we have the benefit of that generations after.
Thank you for
So,
bringing us
and
together.
thank you to the Africa Center for
Yes.
for bringing this together, for providing us this platform with which to be able to have these insightful and generous conversations. Today's discussion truly embodied what Show, Sell, Sustain stand for, showing our work with pride, selling with integrity, and sustaining Africa's creative economy together. As part of the Women's Creative Exchange, the Africa Center Studio will continue hosting sessions and opportunities designed to support women in the creative industries, from visual arts and design to fashion and film. On behalf of Beaux Monde and the Africa Center and our entire team that has put this together, thank you for joining us today. Let's continue to build, collaborate, and sustain Africa's creative future together. Thank you so much.
Thank you to you and to the team. Thank you. It was a pleasure.